So yes, I'm Jordan Stevens. I'm really just here to talk about what God has done to shape me and what He's done to build who I am throughout my life. So my story truly does start from the beginning. I was a little less than a year old when I decided I was going to stop breathing. So parents rushed me to the hospital. It was turned out they had me in an oxygen tent for about a week. Started breathing again. I did start breathing. But they tested me for several different things, such as cystic fibrosis, spinal meningitis. There was many other things, but these tests took about a week to get the results back. So I do know this was one of the longest and most restless weeks for my parents. I'm pretty sure my dad did not sleep at all. So turns out everything was negative. I am where I am today. I'm able to play sports. I'm able to do pretty much whatever I want physically. But through this, my parents really had to trust in God. And I think this is really what is very important in my life because they instilled God into my life as I was growing up and through my childhood. But even then, it was just something, it was routine. It was every Sunday we'd go to church. It wasn't, I hadn't built a strong relationship with Christ. So then we'll skip over elementary school. Middle school, 6th grade, came in, thought it was going to be the easiest thing, and I was right when it came to gym class and lunch, two best subjects. But it was more of, I didn't really have a friend group after my 7th grade. I didn't really have a support group. So then 7th grade, summer 7th grade, just kind of hung out with my parents. It was kind of a boring summer. I'm kidding. But then 8th grade, first bit of 8th grade, just normal. It was school. Who likes school? Raise your hand if you like school. You guys are suck-ups. And I have a mom who is a teacher, so yeah. But then 8th grade, I tried out for the basketball team. This was really the first time I had played a school sport. I had gone through club soccer. I played soccer, basketball, baseball. I pretty much had tried every sport. But tried out for the 8th grade basketball team, made it. But little did I know this was going to be one of the hardest times in my life. I had never really had to deal with something where I didn't play or a coach put me down so much. And I always, when it came to sports, I worked harder than every single person in the room. And that's still, to this day, I will work until I cannot do anything else. Like, I cannot move physically. But this is when I really had to dive into my relationship with Christ. I found a verse, I was trying to get through. I found a verse. It was Joshua 1:9. And the verse says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And to this day, this verse still sticks with me. This is my favorite verse, and this is a verse I truly try to live my life off of. So got through that, and then I met Alex Caseri. So who here knew Alex? So he did reach a lot of people in his time at Northstar, but I met him, ironically, he was reffing one of our rec basketball games. Met him, and he invited me to come to youth group one Sunday. So went, I was kind of that awkward kid, first time there, just tried to keep to myself. But then I became a regular attender of Northstar's youth group. Our family became a regular attender of church here at Northstar. And then I really had that support group that I needed. I had friends in my youth group. I had support when it came to any troubling time. Um, but then I was invited to summer camp with that youth group, and we went to Crossroads, same place we're going again this year. But we went to Crossroads, and this is really where I think my relationship with Christ was turned like upside down, basically. I became like, my brain was just, it was life-changing, truly, it was. So after that, I came back, and I really had a strong relationship with Christ. I felt like anything I was going through, I could go to Christ for anything and everything, basically. And it was very helpful when it came to my freshman year. I, again, tried out for the basketball team. That didn't work out. But then it got to soccer, and soccer's always been my top sport. As Alex said, I'm on the varsity soccer team. And I really don't think I would be on this team or where I am if it wasn't for Christ. I think Christ has put me there to be a light on this team. And before every game that season, I wrote Joshua 1:9 on my wrist. I tape my wrist. I'm a goalkeeper, so I wear those big gloves. But tape my wrist and would write that verse on my wrist. And I truly don't think I would have as much confidence as I do when I go out on the field if it wasn't for me knowing that God was with me. I knew I wouldn't be there if that's not where God wanted me to be. So we got through that. That season went pretty well. We made it to the state championship, lost, but again, it was just, I realized that it wasn't our time. It wasn't the time Christ wanted us to win, I guess. So we're on this run again this year, and I truly am just trying to trust in God. And I think that's what's gotten me to the point I am. And I'm also involved in FCA at the high school. I'm currently the co-president of FCA. I also started the one that's here at the middle school when I was in 8th grade. And I think what I was put here to do is try to just be a light in whatever I'm involved in. So whether that be school, sports, anything, I think I'm just here to show people what God can do in your life. So that's really it. If you guys have any questions for me, I'm willing to answer, but that's it.